what is natural law? Where is it written, right? People say, well, most laws, right? We think of laws, we think of government, we think of legislative bodies that they vote on it. It's written down. We know what to, who decided on natural law might be a question that people ask. And so when you think of that, we need to understand that this principle. We have this ball here, right? What happens if we throw it in the air? The ball falls down, right? How do we know that? We've observed it. Who voted on the fact that if we throw a ball up in the air, the ball is going to fall down? Nobody voted on it. But let's say, we did. Let's say we voted on it and we said, it is now illegal for balls to fall down after we throw them up in the air. What is going to happen? Balls will still fall down. This is not going to change this natural law, this thing that is true no matter when and where, right? It's unchangeable. It's a principle that we can depend on throughout time. And so the Declaration of Independence talks about these laws of nature and of nature's God in regards to human interaction and human rights. It starts off, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. Okay, our rights come from God. That among these rights that we get from God are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that to secure these rights that God gave us, we need to protect them. Governments were instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. So we create government to be able to protect our God-given rights. And because we created it, we give certain authority to government. And that's where they get their just powers from. That whenever any government becomes destructive to these ends, meaning destructive to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish that government and then to institute new government that will protect your rights. So we look at it, right? It's self-evident, meaning it's obvious. No matter what other people say, we get our rights from God. That is self-evident that if government gives us our rights, that means government can take them away. But no, God gave us our rights. And then some of these rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, or the accumulation of property and control of that property. Government was created by the people to protect, not give us our rights, right? We have rights given to us from God. Government's role is simply to protect them. We have in the so-called Bill of Rights, which I think might have been not the best name to give it because it's not a bill of things that the government gives you. It's those things that the government can't violate. It's a list of thou shalt nots. And so we think of the First Amendment, right? The right to freedom of religion. Does that mean that the government has to provide you with a church? Or freedom of the press? Does that mean the government has to give you a website or a printing press? No, they just can't stop you from speaking your mind. They can't stop you from exercising your religion freely. And all through the Bill of Rights, all of those things. People talk about rights today as if it's something the government owes you, but that is completely the antithesis of freedom and actually leads to tyranny. Government's sole role is to protect rights, not to provide them. And so government, of course, it gets its authority from those that created it. We are superior because we created it, and they are inferior, and so they are subject to us. But if the government thinks itself more superior to its creator, then it's our job. It's our duty to either change that government or to dissolve it and to come up with a new government that will actually protect our rights. Because pieces of paper don't enforce themselves. The scriptures don't enforce themselves. They are God's law for us, but we have to enforce them. Same thing with the Constitution. The Constitution has to be enforced by living people. Otherwise, those that seek for power will take more and more.